It's another Friday. We are here, and today the conversation is about why some people are earning a high income yet they are broke. It's a big conversation. And I want to start off by asking you a question. Have you ever wondered why you are earning a high income yet you are always broke? Or do you see people who seemingly are earning a high income? You probably, know what the kind of income they're earning, but somehow they're always broke. And I am talking to people who are in employment, your colleagues who know, of course, when we are at work, we know so and so, this is the probably where they are. So, they have this high income, but they're always either, they're always broke. And you can tell they're always broke because maybe they're always borrowing from other colleagues. So it's easy to tell somebody who earns a high income but they're always broke. By the way, that was me. Lucy Gedaiga. That was me. When I was before I sort of left employment, and I left employment just a couple of is it weeks ago, days ago? Yes, on 1st of August of 2023. But before that, I was employed for 24 years in the NGO sector. 12 of those years in my last 12 years before I left, I was a country director in an international organization, of course, earning a reasonably high income. But then there was a season when, even in spite of that high income, I was broke. And I know that this happens a lot to very many women who are also in leadership, where they are earning a reasonably high income, but they are broke, and they are, every time it's like money checks in, money checks out, and you have no clue of how this money checks in and out. So, Lucy here, welcoming you every Friday. And by the way, I welcome you to subscribe to this channel. We will have conversations every Friday, juicy conversations about money every Friday. And I love to speak to women who are in employment. I love to speak to women who are earning a high income, because I draw a lot of inspiration from my own life, or just observing. But a lot of times is basically looking at my own life and the mistakes that I did, that I do not want you who is watching and who is listening to me to make similar mistakes. I want all of us to thrive and to grow. But anyway, today's conversation is about why it is that you are earning a high income yet you are broke. And I am saying that I was there. Been there, done that, with trophies. Okay. But in last week's video, last week on Friday, I came on here and I was talking about why it is dangerous to save without a reason, or without a purpose, without a goal. If you haven't checked out that video, please go to the scroll down, and you'll be able to see the video that I recorded on why it is important to not to why you shouldn't save, why you should save with a goal. Yeah, that's the point. Now, back to the story of what I said last week. I had this million, and then I put it in some gemstone business. The gemstones were never bought. The business never worked. It was just a hole that I dug and buried. But as I was going through life anyway, I was to dig other holes. I was to, dig and bury other holes. But today I wanted to talk about what really happened. After I got involved in this gemstone business, I there was this whole. First of all, I didn't even have a clue, by the way. No clue. I just joined up with a business partner who seemed to have a clue, so we joined up together. But never mind that, even he was really also learning. I mean, he was just also learning. But anyway, at that point, of course, I didn't know. And this is what happens sometimes. We get into businesses, we haven't established the risks. We haven't established the correct information about how we should do this business. But anyway, now for me, what happened is that I we the gemstones, as I said last week, they were not selling. We had bought some gemstones in Taita Taveta. We had bought some gemstones in Baringo. So we had them. And by the way, I said they disappeared. I don't know how. Don't ask me how they disappeared. But anyway, I don't know. They disappeared somehow. But anyway, when we came now to the market and we tried selling, and we couldn't find a buyer, we're like, okay, you know what? Maybe why don't we just find a way of doing jewelry with these stones? Okay, now to do jewelry, obviously, what do you need? You need the stones, of course, the precious stones, the gemstones. They were rubies at that time, and you also need what else? You also need gold, to sort of mount so that you can mount and make jewelry. So we were like, okay. So I was asked by my business partner, okay, you know what, Lucy, find out whatever information that you can find out. Let's get contact of how we can get gold so that we can use these stones that we have to be able to make jewelry. And then we shall do like a big website where we shall put put the stones, and we shall, it used to be called what? And we shall, I don't know, have an auction. Hey, it was going to be an auction, a jewelry auction. And sometimes we were even dreaming of how we would have this big website that would have an auction for maybe some nice gemstones, but also some jewelry. All right. So in the beginning, when we set out to now like decide how to do the jewelry, we were like, let's try. Let's find some 5 grams of gold, and then when we find the 5 grams of gold, we can then find somebody to make the jewelry for us, and we see how that looks like. Hey, and so one thing led to the other, and we found ourselves the information that I had found out. Somehow I was able to establish that gold is found in Kakamega, gold is found in Migori, gold is found in Turkana, and so we're like, which is probably where can we get more contact? And in that whole process of searching, I was able to actually get a contact in Kakamega. So we decided, why don't we go to Kakamega to get the gold, to get some 5 grams of gold? Anyway, when we went on the expedition to get the 5 grams of gold, we found ourselves now from the digging, from the buying 5 grams. Turned out that we became miners of the gold, because the gentleman we found, and by the way, this is what happens. If you're earning a high income, people can sniff you from far. People, they can sniff. I mean, somebody who has ideas and who wants somebody who can, put in the money while they put in the time, they can sniff you from far. So this gentleman, a short gentleman from Kakamega, sniffed me from far. Well, let me tell you, Maina. The one in Kenya, we say, let me tell you, Maina. At the end of the day, we didn't even buy the so-called 5 grams of gold, but we ended up, sinking money in gold mining. And for a whole year, both I and my business partner supported that business, just putting in money. And we had no knowledge. We were just like going, it's like the blind mice. You know that story of the blind mice? We're just walking around being told there's gold here, there's gold here, there's gold here, and you dig holes all over the place. In the meantime, as you're digging those holes all over the place, you're putting in money. And I found myself just getting broke because I was involved in a business that I did not understand. I was just pumping in money, and I was, of course, engaged in a business with the wrong partners. I mean, as I later on got to understand and to appreciate, is that really when you're getting into a business, and you're especially for people who are in employment, and I speak to women who are in employment earning a high income, please listen to me, hold your ear like this and listen to me. The point is, usually when you're in employment, because you do not have the time to sort of engage in business, and you're sort of feeling like you want to do something else, you want to do something extra, you end up, partnering with people. And those people, so perhaps you might not even, they might just be the ones who are giving the ideas, because you are engaged in a 9-to-5 job, you don't know all these business ideas. So anyone who comes and they sniff you from far, anyone who comes, they will give you ideas, and you will think they are the brightest of them all. I mean, they are the cleverest of them all. So you listen and you put in money. There was a client that I was coaching, actually, I think it was last year or the other day, and she was saying that how she actually just made similar mistakes of having actually a relative who was a business partner, and that's another black spot. A relative who was a business partner, and she put in so much money to this business, and because then it reached a point when tensions begin. You begin to have tensions, and because this was a family member, she was like, what, me, I'm just going to leave this business. So that's what happens. You keep digging holes. So being engaged in businesses that you do not understand, because of course you want to develop, or you want to invest your money, or you want to sort of know that you have something else going other than your 9-to-5, many times you end up putting in money in those places, what I call shiny objects. And by the way, people who bring the ideas to you, they can sniff you from far, remember, And as they sniff you from far, remember you may not necessarily have the correct business acumen. You may not have the possibility to ask the right questions. And so because you're not asking, you are just pumping money into different things. And I can tell you, many people have gone through a lot of challenges because of all these holes that they dig in businesses, which make them sort of result in a situation where they end up just being broke. And I know as we continue, we are going to talk about even business partnerships and all that, and some of the things that some of the red flags that you need to check out even as you think about partnering. And by the way, for me, I have also been engaged in businesses where partnerships, and I ended up losing because I was the one putting in the money. Why? Because you have a high income, you basically have some disposable income, and so when you look at your budgets and everything, you're like, oh, I can be able to commit this amount of money, or I can go for a loan facility. So you get into debt to support the businesses. I will tell you, even as we continue, and as we continue with all the videos that I'll be putting out there, you will come to experience me in a way that sometimes you will wonder, why this woman, what was wrong with her? But it's not really anything that was wrong with me. It's really just the thing that happens with very many people. And some of these financial mistakes, they do not know that you have a degree. They do not know that you have a PhD. They do not even know that you are a professor. They don't know those things. I mean, the important thing is a lot of us make all these mistakes because we do not have financial literacy. And that's why it is important that you educate yourself, get yourself somebody who can help you, whether it's a coach or whatever. It's important that you sort of, get yourself steered in the right direction. So the reason why you are earning a high income and you are broke is because you are putting in money in businesses that you don't understand, that you have no clue, and yours truly is an example. So before you get your money into all these types of businesses that I call shiny objects, do your analysis, do your research. And yes, I want to continue encouraging us to continue connecting here. Every Friday, I'll be dropping a video, and please subscribe. Let's keep learning. Let's keep educating each other. Until next Friday, cheers and see you.